Hello, Pastor Brian here. Welcome to this week's Midway, the middle of the week e-newsletter for Lifeway Community Church. This last Sunday, I took you on a whirlwind tour across the geography of the ancient Judea, that area just east of the Mediterranean Sea. And we talked especially up at the top of a little lake called the Sea of Galilee. We talk about Jesus zigzagged his way across that lake. And actually every side of that lake, there's different loyalties and different territories. And some are Jewish and some are Gentile. And we see how Jesus quickly made a lot of enemies by going to all the wrong sides of the lake and doing all the wrong things. And basically the big idea was that there's a lot of Jewish people who thought Jesus was making a lot of mistakes because when he was showing up in these places, teaching these Gentiles and welcoming them and feeding them, he was saying, I'm not just a Messiah for the Jews, I'm also going to be the Messiah for the Gentiles. And that was all the wrong message as far as the people of Jesus' day were concerned. And then Jesus takes his disciples to the worst possible place a Jew could go, a place called Caesarea Philippi, but it was also known as the gates of hell. It was this temple to the god Pan there at Caesarea Philippi. And there's this cave with just this chasm, this big open chasm that the ancient Greeks and Romans thought was the gateway to Hades, the land of the undead, particularly the ungodly dead. Oftentimes that's why it was also called hell. And Jesus takes them there, and it's there that they declare that Jesus, we believe that you are the Messiah. That's the first time Jesus is called the Messiah. And in fact, he tells them, don't tell anyone else this until later. And it won't be until his trial that he's ever called the Messiah or the Christ again. But it's there that they're starting to realize. And this is a big turning point we see in the Gospels. This is the point when they realize who Jesus really is. He's not just a good rabbi. He's the person that they've been waiting, all the Jews have been waiting for, this guy. This is who they've been waiting for. And we see that they don't quite get it yet, exactly what that means, that he is the Messiah, the Christ, the anointed one. They don't get it yet, but they're starting to. And that's the point here. And it's there at the gates of hell. Jesus says something very particular. He says, I give you. And he's speaking particularly to Peter here, because Peter's the one that spoke on their behalf and said, you're the Messiah. You're the Christ. He said to Peter that I give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. He said, Peter, you're the one on whom I'm going to build my church. And he gives him the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Now, this is quite particular because in that mindset, the way that's being portrayed, it's not just Peter who's received these keys, but everyone in his spiritual legacy. Then that's you and me. We're the church today. If Peter, as the foundation of the church, is given the keys of the kingdom, those same keys are handed to you and me. Now, see, the keys have a very particular role. The idea is that they open things up. They open the gates. They're opening the gates of heaven. See, that's what Jesus had been doing, zigzagging across the Galilee, is that he was opening the gates of heaven to everyone, saying that everyone is invited. Everyone can be a part of the kingdom of heaven. That was the point. He was giving the message that no one expected, that everyone was welcome and loved by God. And then he gives Peter these keys and says, not literal keys, but figurative keys, saying, you have the keys of the kingdom now. It's your job to open the gates. It's your job to open the way. It's your job to clear the path to welcome everybody in. Not to keep people out, but to welcome people in. That's your job and my job as well. It's our job to welcome people in and to clear the way, to make it possible to welcome as many people and invite as many people to the kingdom as possible. That's what we're given. We're given these keys, and we're talking about that right now. We're going to look at Peter and the disciples as now, from this turning point, Jesus starts a 1.5 year long journey back to Jerusalem. We're going to see some very unique things along the way. So I'm excited for the weeks to come from now until Easter. And we have a lot of stuff going on between now and Easter. We have a special missions offering the first weekend, the first Sunday in April. We have Palm Sunday, that second Sunday in April. We have special missionaries coming in called the Hammers from CEF. That third Sunday, we have Easter, which means that Friday just before we have our Good Friday service that we're joining many churches around Lansing at Great Lakes Christian College for a united Good Friday service. And then on Easter morning, that third Sunday in April, we're going to do our big Easter breakfast. We're going to start selling tickets this Sunday. And then we're going to celebrate by eating together and then worshiping and celebrating a living, resurrected Savior on that day as well. So we got a lot going on. I hope you are a part of it. If you're not, find out how you can be a part of it. Get involved here at the church. Call our office, email us, do whatever it takes. Get involved. We're excited for you. But more than anything, I want you to remember that God has given you the keys to the kingdom. And I want you to ask yourself a question this week going forward. If I have the keys to the kingdom, how am I opening the gates? How am I welcoming people in? For Sunday, I'm asking you to think about 2 ways that you are actively opening the gates to the kingdom. And if you're not, reflectively think, how can I, or how should I start opening things for people? How can I start welcoming and inviting people in of every type? Because that's the point here, is that Jesus isn't just for one type of people, he's for everyone. So that's your assignment this week. Think about 2 ways that you are welcoming everyone into the kingdom. And Lord willing, Sunday morning, I'll see you at 10 a.m. for our life groups, and if not, then 11 a.m. for worship. But until then, God bless.